What's up, SnEaKyNation? SnEaKy here, back with all the news after week number 7 in year number 1 of our Washington Redskins franchise, where the Redskins picked up their second victory of the season against their division rival, the Dallas Cowboys. The Redskins looked like the better team for most of the game, but in the fourth quarter, the defense started to crumble, which we have seen this team do before, and the offense started to struggle, which has been a theme this season. But when it came down to it, Dustin Hopkins was able to hit a 60-yard field goal right before time expired, and the Redskins got the 33-30 victory. Definitely one of the more exciting games we have had so far this season, and hopefully we can build on it. Next week we have another division battle against the New York Giants here. This will be our first look at Saquon Barkley, so that's an interesting game. We will be on the road though. A little bit worried about that. Let's go ahead and start scouting players before we get into it. What are you guys thinking of the sliders right now? I feel like they're getting a little bit better. Not where I need them to be yet, but I definitely feel like they're getting better. But I am curious to hear your opinions on it all and what you guys would like to see happen. Moving forward though, let's see what we've got available. So typically, and again, if you guys, I've seen people ask me why I am only scouting the first 2 traits. I explained this in an earlier video, but if you have missed it, scouting is just way too easy on this game. If I scouted all 3 traits, I'd pretty much hit gold with every single pick, and that's not super realistic. Teams don't hit gold with every pick. They do whiff on a few. And so while scouting 2 traits can give me a good idea of what a player is or maybe what he can be, not having that 3rd trait really gives me more of a probability to draft a bust. And nobody wants to draft a bust, but it's still realistic. So that's why I only scout 2. I want to make it a little bit more difficult for myself. I typically scout every single player in the first 2 rounds, and then after the first 2 rounds, I scout based on what I need. But I like to get every player in the first 2 rounds so I kind of know who the best players are. And with the team with a lot of needs, getting the best players available, usually a good way to go. Some interesting prospects here. We're not seeing as many of our players. Dirk Strongbow might be, but we're not seeing as many of the sub-created players here in round 2. They were mostly in round 1, but there are a few guys that are round 2, round 3, even a few later than that maybe, if I remember correctly. But onwards we go. Let's go ahead and check out the stats from around the NFL league schedule. What do we got? Week 7, Broncos and Cardinals shut out the Cardinals 34-0 here. Big victory. Sam Bradford, 177, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Case Keenum, 188, 0 and 1. David Johnson, 17 carries for 196 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Derek Coleman ran for a touchdown as well for the Cardinals there. Cortland Sutton, he is having an outstanding rookie year. 6 catches, 67 yards for him. Sanders, 546. Larry Fitzgerald, 468 and a touchdown. No other receiving touchdowns in this one. Christian Kirk, 1 catch, 15 yards for the rookie. Sacks, 3.5 by Mayoa. What a game. 2 by Marcus Golden. 1 by Baker, Barrett, and the rookie Bradley Chubb. Half a sack by Patrick Peterson. And Rudy Ford with the 1 interception taking place there. Next game on the list, 35-28. The Titans taking down the Chargers. Big fourth quarter there. 21 points. 342 for Phillip Rivers. 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. 252. 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions for Marcus Mariota. Phillip Rivers the first one. I don't know if I said that or not. Henry, 64 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. Dion Lewis, 55 yards. Melvin Gordon, 48 yards. And a Keller with a rushing touchdown. Receiving the ball, Corey Davis, the second-year pro, 9 catches for 60 yards. Keenan Allen, 8 for 120. Tyrell Williams, 8 for 78 and a touchdown. Matthews, 6 for 65 and 2 touchdowns. Mike Williams, the second-year pro out of Clemson, 2 catches, 18 yards and a touchdown for him. And then Derrick Henry had a receiving touchdown. Defensively, Hayward leading the way, 12 tackles. It's not a good sign when Hayward has 12 tackles. You don't want your corner racking that many up. Ingram, 1.5 sacks. Jones, 1 sack. And Mebane with a half a sack. Mebane? I don't know if I said that one right. I apologize. No interceptions taking place. Moving on, third game, 37-21. The Bengals with a victory over the Chiefs. Andy Dalton, 173, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Patrick Mahomes, 313, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Giovanni Bernard, 105 yards for him. Kareem Hunt, only 47 yards. Mixon, 34 and a touchdown. Kelsey, 104 yards and a touchdown on 8 catches. AJ Green, 7 for 70 and 2 touchdowns. Sammy Watkins, the newest Chief, 4 catches, 55 yards. Down the list we go. John Ross, 2 catches, 45 yards and a touchdown. They're expecting more from him this season. West with a receiving touchdown, and Tyreek Hill, only 1 catch on the day. It did go for a touchdown, though. Emerson, 13 tackles. Again, another corner leading the way in tackles there. 2 sacks by Burfict and Gillette. 1 sack by a whole bunch of players here. Interceptions, 1 by William Jackson. Moving on, next game on the list, Cleveland taking down the Bucs 35-3. Blowout victory here. Tyrod Taylor, 238, 5 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. What a game. Not looking to give his job up to Baker Mayfield just yet. Jameis Winston, 117 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Running the ball, Duke Johnson, 22 carries, 84 yards. He did fumble the ball. Hyde with 46 yards, Sims 41. Nick Chubb, the rookie, with 8 yards on 2 carries. Deshaun Jackson, 6 catches, 48 yards. Josh Gordon, 5 for 52 and a touchdown. David Njoku, 5 for 52 and 3 touchdowns. What a game by him. Duke Johnson with a touchdown out of the backfield. Levante David leading the way with 12 tackles on the day. 2 sacks by Myles Garrett, 1 by Vinny Curry, and the 1 interception going to Kendricks. Next game up, Panthers and Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champs, with the victory 21-18. And Carson Wentz, 203 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Cam Newton, 241, 1 touchdown, and 0 interceptions. Sproles was 70 yards on the day. McCaffrey only 26 yards. CJ Anderson did run for a touchdown. Jeffrey, 74 yards and 2 touchdowns on 7 catches. Devin Funchess, 6 for 58. Torrey Smith, 6 for 69 and a touchdown. And Mike Wallace, 3 for 61 and a touchdown. The rookie Goddard, 1 catch, 11 yards for him. Bradham leading the way with 13 tackles in this one. 2 sacks by Fletcher Cox, 1 by Thomas Davis Sr. 0 interceptions on the day. Next game up, we got the Jets taking down the Vikings. Madden hates the Vikings, man. Every franchise I have done, they have just not been very good. And losing to the Jets here. Teddy Bridgewater, 369, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Kirk Cousins, 225, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Dalvin Cook, 115 yards on the ground. Crowell, 23, and Powell was 17 yards and a touchdown. Quincy Enunwa, 7 catches, 138 and a touchdown. Curse, 82 yards. Walford, 60 yards and a touchdown. Kyle Rudolph, 22 yards on 4 catches. He did get 2 touchdowns, though. I feel like we have not seen a whole lot from Diggs this season, scrolling through the news, as we have done. But maybe I'm wrong. Linval Joseph, 2 sacks. Muldean with a sack, and Kendricks with a sack. Minter Smith, Gideon? Probably. Well, a whole bunch of players with a half a sack. My goodness, I kind of thought it would stop, and it just kept going. Marcus May with the interception. Next game, 49-10. The Dolphins with a blowout victory over the Lions here. Did not see that coming. Ryan Tannehill, though, 342 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Matthew Stafford, 182, 1 touchdown, and 0 interceptions. Running the ball, Kenyon Drake, 95 yards on the ground for him. 47 for Blunt, 40 for Gore. And Riddick, 26 yards. He did fumble the ball, though. Danny Amendola, 7 catches, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Wilson, 730 and a touchdown. A.J. Derby, 666 and a touchdown. Kenny Stills, 441 and 2 touchdowns. And then Mike Gesicki, the rookie, with a receiving touchdown. Wellman, another rookie, 1 catch, 22 yards out of the backfield for the rookie fullback. Sacks, 1.5 by Hyder Jr., 1 by Jones, Quinn, and Spence, and Ezekiel Anza with the half a sack. Interceptions, none taken place. What a game by Tannehill there. Unreal. 24-17. What an upset for the Chicago Bears. Taking down the Patriots here. Mitchell Trubisky, 257, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Tom Brady, 316 yards, 1 touchdown, though, 0 interceptions. Howard, 42 yards on the ground. Cohen with 14. Not much happening for James White and the rushing attack for the Patriots. Gillislee did get a touchdown, though. Taylor Gabriel, 7 catches, 113 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Rob Gronkowski, 7 for 79, and a touchdown. What else do we have? No other receiving touchdowns there. Amos leading the way with 12 tackles, 2 sacks by Floyd, 1 by Shelton, Flowers, Hankins, and Lynch. And I don't think there was an interception on the day. Next up, we have got 29-12, the Bills taking down the Colts. And it is going to be Josh Allen, 282 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception by the rookie. Andrew Luck, 173, 0 and 0. Ivory, 62 yards on the ground and a touchdown for him. Not much else running the ball in this game. Charles Clay, 9 catches, 124 yards and a touchdown. Jeremy Curley, 7 for 67 and a touchdown. Jack Doyle, 75 yards on the ground. Touchdown by Travaris Cadet out of Appalachian State. Let's freaking go. He's had a pretty good season, I feel like, because I know I've noticed that a few times now. Sacks, 2 by Sheard, 1 by Simon Williams Hughes and Matt Milano. And then interceptions, 1 by Webster. Next game, Jags and Texans. Jags going to get the victory 31-10. And Blake Bortles, best quarterback of all time according to Madden. 268 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Deshaun Watson, 251, 0 and 1. Lamar Miller, 56 yards on the ground. Fournette with 40 and a touchdown. Foreman with a rushing touchdown as well. Marquise Lee, 7 catches, 89 yards and a touchdown. Down the list, Dede Westbrook, 483 and 2 touchdowns. All right, defensively, Matthew with 10 tackles on the day. Sacks, 1 by Brown, Smoot, and McCray. Interceptions, 1 by Miles Jack. Only a few games, I say a few, a handful of games. We got 4 left. 35-13, it's going to be the Saints taking down the Baltimore Ravens. Drew Brees, 267, 4 and 1. Lamar Jackson, 201, 0 and 0. Alvin Kamara, 72 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Collins, 55 yards. Kenneth Dixon with a rushing touchdown. Thomas, 8 catches, 78 yards and a touchdown. Ted Ginn, 77 and 2 touchdowns for him. And a touchdown by Mark Ingram. Defensively, C.J. Mosley, 12 tackles on the day. 1 sack by Suggs, Williams, Davis, and Davison. Half a sack by Jordan and Coleman. Interceptions, 1 by Eric Weddle, the veteran safety, making a play for that Ravens defense. Ultimately, it was not enough. 30-33, that was our game. We don't need to look at it. Redskins getting the victory, and then Rams taking down the 49ers 14-10. A defensive battle in this one. Jared Goff, 196, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jimmy Garoppolo, 231, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. 87 yards for Gurley on the ground, 0 touchdowns. McKinnon, only 39 yards, struggling in this game. Receiving the ball, Pierre Garçon, 7 catches, 60 yards and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp, 488 and a touchdown. And then Everett with a receiving touchdown. Nobody else really standing out there. Defensively, Barron with 14 tackles, sacks, 2 by Barwin, 1 by Reuben Foster, Aaron Donald, Armstead, Brockers, and Ibukam. Interceptions, 1 by Richard Sherman and 1 by Roby Coleman. Last game of week number 7. It is the Giants taking down the Falcons, and this is the Giants team. We are getting ready to play. 28 points in the 4th quarter. What was the final score? I forgot to say it. 42-24. And man, that's not a great sign for us. Eli Manning, 259 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Matt Ryan, 283, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Saquon Barkley, 96 yards on only 16 carries and a touchdown. Freeman, 94 yards. Coleman and Jonathan Stewart each rushing for a touchdown as well. Julio Jones, 8 catches, 129 yards. Sterling Shepard, 8 catches, 92 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Mohamed Sanu with the receiving touchdown, 52 yards for him. And Logan Paulson, more of a blocking tight end, but he will get a receiving touchdown in this game. Defensively, Jenkins with 10 tackles. Sacks, 1.5 by McKinley, 1 by Beasley, Vernon, Tomlinson, half a sack by a few players here. Interceptions, Jenkins, Graham, and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. And we'll check out the player of the week. Obviously, I'm imagining it is going to be Tannehill here, but we will find out for sure. Offense, 30th in the NFL. But again, we do have an early bye week that might be affecting that. David Johnson, 17 carries, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns. Thomas Davis Sr., 10 tackles, a sack, and 2 fumbles forced. Myles Garrett, 8 tackles, 2 sacks. And the man, the myth, the legend, Ryan Tannehill, 28 of 33, 342 yards, 6 passing touchdowns. That is probably going to do it for this episode, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching. Hit that like button if you guys are enjoying this series. I appreciate all of the support. Let me know any suggestions that you guys have. I do read all of the comments. I don't respond to them all. I apologize. I have a lot of stuff going on, and it's tough to sit down and reply to everyone, but I am reading them all. Thank you guys for the support, and I will see you guys next time. Later.